Rumors of a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game in development have been circling before, but new details that it will be developed by a studio outside of Electronic Arts has now popped up. Lucasfilm announced during this month that they would be licensing Star Wars games to other companies, which included Ubisoft as part of its new games label. According to the source Best Spin Bulletin, which was picked up by VGC plus others, KOTOR is one of the titles that will be developed outside of EA and BioWare. Bulletin also added that they weren't sure if the Bounty Hunter game is with them, but EA is working on stuff and there's another unannounced game at EA. So far, there is no confirmation on which developer is currently working on the game, but it's interesting to see which studio has taken on the project. The new trailer, which released ahead of Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood's launch next week, shows the main character, Kahal, silently taking out enemies using a crossbow and slashing foes in the not-so-silent werewolf form. Each form comes with its own dedicated skill tree that offers upgrades and new abilities which you earn with spirit points as you make progress throughout the game's story. The trailer shows some of the fast-paced combat as well as the stealthier approach, depending on what the situation calls for. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood will release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC via the Epic Games Store on February 4th, 2021. Recently, in the release of the book BioWare Stories and Secrets from 25 years of the game development, which celebrated the 25th anniversary with art, pictures, as well as commentary, it released a new detail about the next Dragon Age entry. It was pointed out by Eurogamer, who found an official confirmation that shared Tevinter bound a sneak peek at the follow-up to Inquisition. It continues with the game helmed by executive producer Mark Dara will take players to Tevinter as the events of the Inquisition and Trespasser threaten to forever change Theta. Of course, this was published before Dara left the project in December of last year, but it does confirm that Tevinter will be the next setting for the game. The book doesn't mention any release window, but the release seems to be a long way off, as what was shared in the Electronic Arts earnings call in October 2019, which mentioned it wouldn't be until fiscal year 2022. Biomutant finally gets a launch date, which was announced by THQ Nordic. The furry open-world kung fu fable will be releasing on May 25th, 2021 for PlayStation 4, PC and Xbox One. The game has been a long time in the making, as this is some amazing news that we will finally be releasing this year. We caught up with Experiment 101 back at Gamescom 2019 for a preview, revealing a number of interesting features including character customization, such as the size of the character's head will affect the overall intelligence of the character. Previously, the developer shared a gameplay trailer last year that showed some of the wacky weapons that are made from crafting pieces of junk into something a little more useful and a whole lot more deadly. Wasteland 3 has gotten a new patch update 1.3.0 titled Robots and Rangers. Not only does it add new free fantasy costumes, the Handmaid Wizard and Wasteland Knight, but also adds a new mode, new cosmetics, some gameplay changes and more. The major new additions include a new mode called Tourist, which sets to be easier than Rookie, letting you experience the story of Wasteland 3. It lets combat take a backseat so you can enjoy the story unfold. The patch also brings new cosmetics in the form of new hair, beards and pants for character creation. There's also some new improvements and fixes. Wasteland 3 is currently available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. If you need some guides to help you with your adventure, be sure to check out our Wasteland 3 guides. During the global announcement livestream, ZeniMax Online Studios announced the next big chapter for The Elder Scrolls Online called Blackwood, which will be releasing on June 1st for PC and on PlayStation and Xbox on June 8th. This year will follow the Gates of Oblivion in a year-long adventure. This isn't the only content that's been announced, as a new dungeon DLC called Flames of Ambition will be releasing on March 8th for the PC, Mac and Stadia, as well as consoles on March 16th. This year's chapter gets a major story following the schemes of the Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon. This takes place 800 years before the events of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Blackwood promises 30 hours of new main storyline, an abundance of side quests, new quality of life features, and a major new feature, companions. Each companion character comes with skills you can level up, customizable gear, and combat abilities. The champion system is finally getting a revamp, with the new level cap now being raised to 3600 CP. The system also is changing, with having a 12 passive system with 3 sub-constellations. With under each constellation, you can freely swap in and out these passives as long as you're not in combat, and you have the freedom to interchange them. You also can try out the new system, which is now live on the PTS. The Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood is now available to pre-order. Cryptic Studios have announced the Magic Legends Open Beta will start on March 23rd, 2021. Players will be able to become their very own Planeswalker this March. The Open Beta will be available on Arc Games on PC. Cryptic also held a Twitch livestream this week which previewed some of the pre-alpha content. Executive producer Steven Ricosa went through some of the gameplay, sharing that the story content can also be done solo or in a group as well. Magic Legends is an online action RPG that is based on the Magic the Gathering universe, an iconic strategy card game. It combines the use of magic cards to build a deck full of abilities for your character. Players get a choice of classes, choosing from Geomancer, Mind Mage, Beast Caller, Sanctifier, or Necromancer. Each has their own deck. Cards can be chosen from the different colors of mana decks, and cards can be used with any class despite of their original starting deck, meaning you can build the character to your preferred playstyle. Magic Legends will be released later in 2021 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Developer Once the Entertainment is still working on the upcoming tactical RPG King's Bounty 2, but while development is still going on, they have made a video that answers fan questions about the game. One of the questions asked was about the genre of the game. Igor Kudev, the lead narrative designer, shared that it is a high fantasy but with some realistic elements. So far, King's Bounty 2 will be purely a single player game, as the way it has been developed is for a fully immersive RPG. However, according to producer Denis Malzev, the studio wouldn't say no to a separate arena mode, but it won't be releasing upon the launch of the game. King's Bounty 2 offers tactical turn-based battles to offer players a truly immersive RPG experience. Players will need to weigh up their decisions, as each will have an impact. For the King, the fantasy tabletop-inspired RPG will be getting its first paid DLC called Lost Civilization for PC on February 10th. It will take players to the jungle, introducing a new region, arena battles, wands and dual wielding, 2 new playable characters, and lots of new enemies plus loot. For the King is a dungeon crawler that brings JRPG combat, strategy, and roguelike features. Use a mix of procedural maps, quests, and events as you brave the elements, as well as evil creatures. For the King is available to play on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. The new DLC Lost Civilization Adventure Pack will be releasing on PC on February 10th for $5.99 or £4.99. Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.